This episode of Roaches to Wrenches will be back on our cheap Chrysler 300. If you're new here and you haven't seen this car already, you might want to go back and watch the video series. This car is back in the garage, not because there's anything wrong with it. I just need to do a couple things, but most importantly, we're going to do this oil analysis from Blackstone Labs. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've heard a lot of people who've done stuff about it. It does tell them good stuff about what's going on inside the engine. But first of all, I do need to fix the exhaust. As you can see, the exhaust tips are tucked in too far. They're not really aligned with the hose. The reason this happened was, if you remember, a couple months ago, we put a stock exhaust back on this car and I didn't align it properly when I did it. I knew it wasn't aligned properly, but I just didn't want to jack the car back up and do this all over again. So we're going to do that now and make sure it's aligned. This is what we need to unbolt, and then we're going to bang these two pipes back a couple, maybe an inch, maybe an inch and a half. We'll see. It's only been a few months, so I don't think I'll need WD-40. Oh yeah, yep. I have adjusted about as much as I can from that point of adjustment at the mid pipe. But as you can see, the tail pipes are still uneven. So what I'm going to try and do is come in from at this point of the exhaust and adjust this point. As you can see, it is independent. It is an independent piece as opposed to this one, which is part of the entire exhaust. That's just how it's manufactured, so you could put in here. So that is a potential point of adjustment. So I'm going to try and do that and get this part lined up. Now I'll try to align this pipe. Just like, yeah, that almost does it. After several more minutes of adjusting the exhaust, here's the result. This is of course not perfect, but certainly a substantial improvement. Yeah, I think it looks a lot better. Now it's time to get some oil for this analysis. Okay, so due to the extensive nature of the work we performed on this engine, I feel it necessary to perform an oil analysis. I've never done this before. I figured this would be an ideal candidate for the first time doing an oil analysis here on Roaches to Wrenches, because it's work we've done on this channel, and I still have the car 2,000 miles later. Also, this engine has almost 150,000 miles on it. I just want to see how it's holding up. I haven't done an oil change since we put this engine together originally. Hopefully, the oil filter has done its job and caught most of the foreign material that may have been in the oil, that I may have gotten in the oil pan or in the oil passages somewhere. So yeah, I'm going to collect a little bit of oil to fill this up. I'm going to put it in here and send it out. Okay, so I took some oil out. I didn't do an oil change. This is just enough oil that will fill up this little container. Despite the color of the oil, it's been in there for only 2,000 miles. It doesn't need an oil change. I'm gonna fill out the paperwork, send this out, and we'll be back to find out the condition of the engine. What's going on, folks? It's been a couple weeks since the last clip. We got the results for the oil analysis back. They came out stellar. I won't go through the whole list, what material is in the oil and what's not in the oil and things like that, because a lot of those things are just numerical values and they don't really have much meaning. So I just want to let y'all know that the results were all good. This car has about 140-some thousand miles. I've put 2,000 miles on it since we repaired the engine. There's no coolant in the oil. There's no fuel in the oil. There's nothing, none of that. Engine sounds good, runs good, everything like that. It's still running perfectly. Check engine light has never come on. It's been a really great car. Fuel economy is a little, not really what I'd like, so the car's kind of just been parked for the last couple of weeks. I went from driving it every day to driving it about maybe once or twice a week just to keep everything going, the battery charged, oil flowing, coolant flowing, stuff like that. But yeah, that'll be all for now. This will probably be the last video of this car. The next video, the car will be gone. So as always, I'm grinding. I hope you all are doing the same. You all stay strong, stay healthy, and stay inspired. I'm out. God bless.